There's been a lot of talk about what's next, what's after the Tour. Pogačar was kind of still sort of not really, maybe is still down for the Vuelta. Now, my inner conspiracy theorist was working on this during last week when he stopped going for stages, and he thought, actually, you know what, I just want to go on holiday with Ushka. I don't want to go to the Vuelta. Why am I going to the Vuelta? And so he started to look tired and pretend to be tired, and pretend to be sad, and pretend to be really miserable. And so that he could build up, he's laying the foundation for saying, guys, I want to be world champion again. I'm not going to the Vuelta. I'm sorry.
Nice.
So that's, but yeah. No,
I like that as a theory.
He did look tired.
I like that as a theory.
That's
a really good theory. That said, okay, so I think, Johnny, you and I talked about this. I'm not sure we ever talked about it on a podcast. I can't remember. But we definitely talked about it in the car. Definitely talked about it in a car. We should have saved it. No, we were talking in the car about how like chaotic the UAE bus is these days, and how it seems like more than previous years. The fact that we haven't been able to, we didn't chat with Larrick and Luke for more than like 5 seconds. Not once. Because he's just like full gas protecting Pogačar from the people. Maybe he just doesn't like us. I don't know. Can we take our hats off? We could take our hats off now.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm keeping mine on because I've got a take for after this.
Okay. Yeah. No, it's because this is the real. This no conspiracy hat right now. This is like actual reporting from standing there in front of the guy. We definitely talked about this in that Pogačar. One, it was just more chaotic all around him. And that two, I think that was sort of either that or maybe some other things were affecting him from day one at this Tour de France. He seemed to be having less fun at this tour, literally from day one. And this is like all these sort of tiny interactions that you have. You know, they're the riders kind of how they act when they're on the little like press conference TV with us, for example, right? Like this is a moment that is not broadcast. It is for written press only. And so you often see the facade drop a little bit in those. Like we talked about Van der Poel being like, just, we had never seen anyone not want to wear the yellow jersey as much as we saw Van der Poel in this press conference, where he's just like, I just don't want to be here. I don't want to do any of this. Like, I just don't want to deal with it. And I think we were seeing that from Pogačar as well, particularly in those moments when the TV cameras were gone and, you know, the quieter moments, you know, when he's just rolling around in the buses and when he was, all these little tiny things. There was a definite sense that he was not enjoying himself as much as he has at previous tours. So I do think that there is something to it, whether he was ill, whether he's just tired of it, whether he was disappointed that Jonas was not better, whatever. I don't think we will truly know what it is until he, you know, writes a book with somebody in 10 years. But I think that there's something there.
I think the fixer would have been if Vingo was on a level to compete, and that, like we saw them on March stage, when everything's set up, that's just going to be good, and he's going to enjoy himself, and he can sense that he's like, okay, fine, I'm back in.
Yep.
Like, you know, this is an episode of my favorite sitcom that I haven't seen before.
Yep.
But I think unlike other sort of yellow jerseys and top cyclists, and I've got the hat on, so this is all guesswork. I think he's definitely more of a regular person than the others are. I think he lacks any sort of, I mean, this could all be wrong. We don't know for sure, but it's like he seems to lack that megalomaniacal. There we go. Woof. Check that Scrabble score. That streak where it's like you're hell bent on like destroying competition or making as much money as you possibly can. Like he realizes that he's got a few million and he's basically sorted. And you can kind of see this from, I've met his parents a couple times now, and you like see them at every tour. They are still wearing like the same clothes as when they first like dropped him off at UAE Team Emirates to like become a professional cyclist or whatever. They're like, his dad just looks like a dad. They're all dressed in normal clothes. Like they have like a "We Support Pogačar" t-shirt, and they've done that whole thing. But they're not like blinged out, or he seems to be a normal guy, right? He's not. We saw him like going to that tennis in Monaco where you know he got booed because he didn't sit down, didn't do the right thing. And I think my real Tim Pot, whatever it is, tinfoil theory, is that he's like trying to like maybe do a bit of that, right? Trying to maybe enjoy the trappings of his celebrity, but I think it doesn't come naturally to him. It doesn't come naturally to him to sort of, be this massive superstar. I think the memes and being funny was protected him for a while, but you grow out of that, right? And he's trying to figure out how he is Tadej Pogačar, but as a 26-year-old who's like kind of settled down, knows who he is earning more money than not more money than God, more money than a cycling god. So what does he do? What do you do?
Yeah.
Everyone knows that money is not the answer to most things, and neither probably is winning. So where does he get his meaning from?
Yeah, he's already slightly diverted his focus by doing the Spring Classics.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The Roubaix and he calls all the shots of that team, right? Like he chose to do Roubaix, no one can tell him. He just chose to race that Montmartre stage, and when he could have crashed.
Next year he'll actually call everyone's bluff and focus on the Spring Classics, then take July off, go to the Vuelta, get the Vuelta, come back next year, get his 5th Tour de France and retire.
I mean that would be the true test of if he calls the shots in that team. If he can be like, I'm not doing the Tour this year. But it's it's a hard sport to fake, right? Like in basketball, I think you can probably like coast through a bit. Like loads of those NBA players don't enjoy basketball for the enjoyment of the sport for various reasons. Cycling, it's so much harder to do. You've got to be out there doing 30-40 hour weeks on your bike, doing the same thing. It hurts. Your vices are limited outside of your sport. It's and he's already been doing it for like 6 years, and he's won it all basically. So I feel a sympathy with him. I think it's a definite question for the sport in terms of like, well, this really shouldn't be how these things go. Like what have we created? Like everyone, that fans' expectation, the demands. It's all a bit weird. I don't know.
The only stage I saw him have fun on, Montmartre, obviously, because you can see in a bike racer's eyes, even behind sunglasses.
Yeah, you
can see when they're like, he's watching Wout, and he's kind of like, you can just see like the amount of time it takes between like the attack and the counterattack. I think is a good indicator of sort of like how just sort of clued in and tapped in he was, and how much, and therefore how much he was enjoying it. He definitely enjoyed that stage. I think he enjoyed. Again, all these stages run together. What was the one?
Describe it to me.
What was the one where we were? It was like stage 3 or 4, and we were we went and watched.
Stage 4 was his first stage win.
We watched the finale. We actually saw the bicycle race, Johnny.
The
buses were behind. No, it wasn't the mirror. Buses were behind us, and we were there. And anyway, I swear.
The one when he was sprinting against Mathieu van der Poel and Oscar Onley.
Oh,
yes.
That was stage 4.
Yep, stage 4.
Nice one, Kit.
Definitely enjoyed that one.
In Rouen.
I think he enjoyed Hautacam. I think he was like enjoyed dominating on Hautacam, and then I think that just sort of made the rest of the race less fun for him.
It's an interesting question, because if you compare it to Vingo as well, who kind of keeps himself locked away for the other 11 months of the year, and that's how he kind of deals with the Tour. So it's almost nice to be surrounded by a bike race and have all that attention, and and you could see him having a good time. Like on the,
he seems to embrace it a little bit more than more than he used to.
Yeah, and on the bus where you had Victor Campenaerts and doing his vlogs with Matteo Jorgensen, it would pan around to Vingo, and he was like, "This is like, you guys are hilarious.
Really
Look, relax." And it's so weird that the vibes were so much better at Visma when they have always had the worst vibes.
Yeah, it was a switch.
Even when they like were beaten handily, they were still like, you know what, like it's all good. It's all good. They actually did it the correct way, where instead of Pogačar and Roglic like openly questioning and trying to find the answer to what does it all mean, Visma were like, well, we're here to race our bikes, and they really raced their bikes, and everyone's like giving them criticism for doing it wrong, whatever. They're like, we don't, we tried, we came second, won stages.
It was still Pogačar was a problem. They try as they might, there wasn't anything they could do to beat Pogačar. I don't think.
So I think they found
they tried.
But it's almost easier to come second having tried your best, right? Because
easily, if
you win, the heavy is the head that wears the crown, sort of thing.
Indeed.
They were able to just go and party, basically. Nothing else.
You need Victor Campenaerts in your team, apparently.
Oh yeah, Victor Campenaerts is great fun. He's obviously really. I mean, he seems like Did you see? I said this to Johnny, but Kaylee, have you seen Campanart's Champs-Élysées snack?
Mm.
So the
Titema
Boys were handing out pizza. In fact, they had T-shirts saying Titema Pizza or Torta Pizza or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they were handing out, well, Domino's, unfortunately, pizza at the finish line. And Campanarts took pizza, opened the box, and then looked as if he was taking one slice, but then folded it into 3 or 4 more, and just went
Yeah, it's disgusting.
like a cake of pizza. It was great.
Yeah. It's been.
I mean, I've got a summarising line which I was gonna take as my own, but I think I should give credit where it's due.
Go on.
And this is from actually, it's a good shout out. And congratulations to Abby and Stu for their baby, who is, in Abby's words, the same age as the 2025 Tour de France. Their first baby was born on the first stage. Abby was the big fan of Unchained, who I mentioned before.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Abby's husband Stu, he said Pogačar thinks that the Tour de France could have been an email.
That is harsh. That is very harsh.
But I think it's accurate.
Maybe true. I think this has been. We've almost done ourselves a mini group therapy session here, just trying to figure out where everything
talk ourselves
sits
into
and stands
acceptance
and where it is. But I think it's an interesting discussion. I'd be interested to, after a couple of days, I'd be interested in knowing what people listening think of this tour. Especially if you have a cynical mind where maybe you've been watching for a while and you have lots to compare to. Did you find this tour weird? Is that just the vibe we picked up? I'd like to know.